All right, welcome back everyone for another deep dive. Today we're heading into the incredible world of tropical rainforests.
That's right. Place is absolutely teeming with life.
More species than almost anywhere else, and we're going to try and get to the bottom of just what makes them so special.
Absolutely. We're going to look at the key features, why they matter so much, really dig into it.
Cool. So when most of us picture a rainforest, we think of heat, right?
Yeah, that's pretty spot on. Heat and rain, tons of rain.
So that's got to be like the main defining feature.
Yeah, you've got those high temperatures like pretty much all the time. Think 68 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit year-round, no matter what.
Wow, that's consistent.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then you add in the rain, like, crazy amount of it. We're talking often more than 80 inches a year.
Wow, that's a lot of water.
Yeah, that combination really fuels this whole crazy biodiversity thing. That's why most of them are near the equator, by the way. The intense sunlight just pumps up the whole system.
So you've got all this constant warmth, all that moisture. It's like a nonstop engine just driving everything.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay, so now inside the rainforest, it's not just a big jumbled mess of plants, is it?
No, definitely not. It's actually super organized, kind of like levels, you
Oh,
know?
interesting, like a layer cake.
In a way, yeah. So picture this. You've got four main layers. At the very top, you've got what we call the emergent layer. It's where the tallest trees, like, stick out above everything else, grabbing all the sunlight they can.
Makes sense, you gotta reach for the sky.
Right. Then below that, you've got this really dense area, the canopy.
Ah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's like a giant roof formed by all those treetops, and that's where most of the action is. Tons of animals and plants living up there.
Oh, wow.
Then you go a bit lower, and that's the understory.
Okay, and what's going on there?
It's a lot shadier there, you know, with smaller trees, shrubs, things adapted to less light.
Right, right.
And then finally, you hit the forest floor.
So is that where all the ferns and stuff are?
Actually, you'd think so, but it can be surprisingly bare down there because so little light actually reaches it.
Oh, huh. That's unexpected.
Yeah, it's amazing, though, how these different layers create all these unique habitats, all within the same rainforest.
It's like a vertical city, but for plants and animals.
Yeah, exactly, a vertical
So
city.
much life packed in there. Must be pretty competitive, right?
Oh, absolutely. They're all vying for resources, space, light.
So how do they even survive with all that rain and the fight for sunlight?
It's all about adaptation. It's incredible how plants have figured out ways to deal with those constant downpours, you know, and that competition.
Like what? Give us some examples.
Okay, well, have you ever noticed how some rainforest leaves have those pointy tips?
Maybe. What are those for?
They're called drip tips, and they're basically like tiny gutters that let water run off the leaf super fast, keeps them from getting moldy and stuff.
Huh, that's pretty cool.
And another thing, rainforest soils are actually pretty shallow and surprisingly nutrient poor.
Really? Why is that?
It's all that rain washes away a lot of the good stuff. So these big trees have these massive above ground roots. We call them buttress roots.
Okay, I've seen pictures of those.
Yeah, they're enormous, and they help stabilize the trees in that thin soil and also help them capture nutrients from the surface.
Ah, that makes sense. Got to adapt to survive. Speaking of nutrients, that's what I find really interesting. Where are all the nutrients hiding in a rainforest?
Yeah, a lot of people assume they're all in the soil, right? Like in a normal forest.
Yeah, seems logical.
But it's totally different in a rainforest. Because it's so warm and humid, things decompose super fast. Dead leaves, wood, all that stuff.
So all those nutrients just get released really quickly.
Exactly, and the plants just slurp them right back up. So most of the nutrients are actually stored in the living plants and animals themselves, not the soil.
Huh. The rainforest is like a giant living recycling machine. That's wild.
Pretty much, and that constant recycling is what allows so much life to flourish there.
Which brings us to what rainforests are famous for, that insane biodiversity, right?
Exactly. You put together that constant warm weather, all that rain, the nutrient cycling, and, you know, the unique structure we talked about.
It's like a recipe for life to go crazy.
Yeah, basically. And that's why rainforests, even though they cover a relatively small part of the planet, have a huge percentage of all the world's species.
It's like evolution on overdrive.
Yeah, it's constantly generating new species and interactions, stuff we're still just discovering.
So to wrap things up, we've covered the constant heat and rain, the layers of the rainforest, the incredible plant adaptations.
Oh, yeah, and don't forget about the nutrient cycling, where life itself holds the key to the resources.
Right. And of course, all that leads to that mind-blowing biodiversity.
Yeah.
So when you think about rainforests, I want you to consider this. All those elements we talked about, they're so interconnected, and the whole system is so delicate. What happens if even one thing gets disrupted?
Yeah, it's a big question, and one we should all be thinking about.
That's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Thanks for listening.